For the third goal, we're going to look at the big picture, how to grab attention, variation, scaffolding, assessment types, and also tips for activities. Focus now on the big picture. For each objective, think of how you're going to introduce the topic, the activities, the delivery, any job aids. So how are your learners are going to consume this information and how you're going to test them on that. The challenge with attention is to find the right balance of consistency, novelty, and variation because your learners will differ in their tolerance of stimulation. Here are some tactics that you can use. Create curiosity, introduce personal or emotional stories, ask questions, create paradoxes, use concrete examples or visualizations, use metaphors or analogies to make a complex concept more concrete, make step-by-step procedures by the use of flowcharts and diagrams. Other ways to keep them engaged could be using images, video, audio, music, any interactive features. Discussion boards also that create a sense of community and incorporating recent new articles. In terms of variation, it is recommended to use a variety of typefaces so that you can highlight titles, quotes, keywords, but always maintaining a consistent style. Variation also in the spatial location of the blocks of information, alternating between blocks of text, figures, tables, and pictures, and include variation also between content presentations and active responses, like questions, problems, exercises, and puzzles. By adding variation into your course, you are sure to address the learner's preferences, depending on their personality types, their learning styles, their multiple intelligences. Let's practice and create a mind map on attention and variation. This one is a possible solution to the mind map activity. Scaffolding is breaking up the learning into chunks and providing a tool or a structure with each chunk to help the learner understand better. So some of the tools that you can use is, for instance, to introduce a new content are Venn diagrams to compare and contrast information, or flowcharts to illustrate a process, or mnemonics, yes, to assist the recall. Other scaffolding tools could be concept maps or mind maps that show a relationship that students maybe need to complete even. Others are, for instance, examples, samples, illustrations, real objects, um, explaining more in detail also like a written instruction with more details. And of course, downloadable handouts like in this course, so that you get the content related information, you can download it and you have room to add your own notes as a student. Choose a method of assessment appropriate for the learning outcomes. Often we tend to use one form of assessment more than the others. And it's important to vary those methods because it enhances the students' skills and also improves the engagement. And finally, in your assessment, how are you going to provide feedback? Would that be immediate or after the assignment has been submitted? And does it reflect the criteria? Time for practice. True or false? Do the following assessments match the learning objectives? So how did you do? Were your answers the same as these ones? Good job. Any new learning can move from short to long-term memory when learners have this consistent, varied, practical, and organized interactions with the materials. So here are some tips for organizing those activities, especially to help learners in understanding the content and retaining it. For instance, activities involving repetition and a reinforcement that will slow the pace of forgetting, like quizzes and exercises. For activities related to recalling, checking understanding, or reciting, multiple choice tests and true or false, for instance, are good examples. They come from behaviorism. Same for recalling facts. like in a drag and drop activity. That's also behaviorist, comes from discriminating. Other activities that you may consider using in your course could be explanations, discussions, demonstrations, problem solving with real examples, mnemonics, analogies, metaphors, and even concept mapping or other graphic organizers. These activities are closely connected to cognitivism because they help to assimilate new information with previous knowledge. Look at the objective below and suggest an activity for practice and an assessment type. How did it go? These are possible answers. Now, thinking back on your final assignment, you're now ready to start with the conceptual design. What kind of activities will you be including? How will you be supporting your learner? How will you grab and maintain their attention? Based on the learning objectives, which assessment types will you be using?